This
Give me a
conference will now
second.
be recorded.
All right, let's get grabbed our composure again. All right, finally the phone's working again too, man. I'm having the biggest problems at this place with the internet. They talk me into, because I told them I run a business from here and have devices, all this shit. Make a long story short, they upgraded me to like the top of the line freaking internet that they have, right? No problem. Still doesn't work downstairs. Like it's only 2 floors. We barely know, like maybe 1% of homes have basements out here. So it's 2 floors. In my bottom floor, it barely works because the modem's up here. I mean, sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't, right? And like I said, the top one that Cox Cable had, I call they send a technician out here. Guess what the technician tells me? Bro, you're paying for the fiber internet and your neighborhood's not even set up for fiber internet. Like they're going like all fiber and shit like that. And they're putting them in the new homes because it's easier as they build a home to make it ready like that. And then they're going back and doing individual neighborhoods at a time. They haven't gotten to my neighborhood yet. So they sold me a product that doesn't even work where I'm at. That's where we're at. So forgive me. I'm getting that all taken care of. With that said, get your questions in there because we're about to do some fucking damage. I'm in that mood today. Trust me when I tell you, this is going to be a big weekend. I am so hyped for that UFC. I will be tomorrow at UFC Expo at the convention center. I will be doing a live show from the podcast stage at, I believe, 2 to 3 p.m. Pacific time, but I will be there from like noon, hanging out, checking it out the place. So if you're there, please stop by. Please say hello. I'd love to get a chance to meet you guys and girls. So with all that said, let's get this going. First thing we always do, I want to welcome everyone here that just swung by to hang out with us. I'm going to try to keep it as normal as usual, understanding that many of you are not subscribers. Please try to understand that this is a very different subscription than what's readily available out there in gambling Twitter. Meaning, I sat down with Wager Talk and more notably Gianni, and we were trying to think of a way to help those bettors that really do take this seriously, like really do want to use sports betting as an investment vehicle and just don't have that opportunity. Because again, they don't know what subscriptions to buy, what packages, and then what do they do with it? And what pissed me off the most as I talked to Gianni is I told him, listen, man, this is what bothers me most, that at the end of the year, December 31st rolls around. Last year, I increased starting capital by 80%. So if they started with me on January 1st through December 31st and did exactly as I urged them to do, managed their risk exactly as I urged them to do, if they had a $10,000 bankroll, they should have increased that by $8,000, okay? Minus my fees, minus their time, minus their internet, minus their electricity, minus all that. I'd say even if it's 30% of that, say 2,500 of that 8,000, okay? That still leaves 5,500. Let's just say 50. Let's say 5,000 because you took the other 500 and you messed around with it, okay? So they should have a 50% increase on starting capital. So that means this year on January 1st, they shouldn't be starting with a 10,000 bankroll. They should be starting with a $15,000 bankroll. They're no longer betting $25 a unit. They're now betting $37.50 a unit. And that's how I'm going to walk them from betting 25 to 250 to betting 250 to 1250, like I did. Because I went from 100 to 500 to now betting 1,000 to 5,000. And I've stopped at 5,000 because I don't want to deal with more agents, more risk, more credit accounts. That's the only reason. So I put capital elsewhere. But that's what this subscription was built for. Those whose goals are aligned with mine. My goal is not to sell picks to anybody. I'm not trying to sell them tonight's winner, this Saturday's UFC winner, the NFL future, any nonsense like that. Any nonsense like that. I'm not doing that. I'm not doing that. There's a market for that, and there's a huge market for that. And I commend those handicappers that are out there doing it and making a ton of money. God bless them. God bless them. The market wants it. You're just providing what the market wants. If they're not asking you for your last 1,000 bets, then they don't care whether you're positive EB. So you're doing what you're doing your thing. But what I'm getting at is my goal is one. I start with my capital on January 1st. And when December 31st rolls around, I want to see that I have a return on my capital, on my investment. That's it. I know that during the year, just like my other investments, they will go up, they will go down. But over a statistically significant sample size, because I have an edge, which has been proven by profiting 8 of the last 9 years at a minimum of 3,000 bets per year, which over 1,000 has statistical significance, then I know all I have to do is the right thing over and over and over again, rinse and repeat, and I'm a mathematical certainty to beat the books. There's nothing they can do about it. I sat down with Kelly in 2017. I did a video, and that's exactly what I said. I can't promise you I'll win tonight, this week, or this month, but here's what I could guarantee, that over a statistically significant sample size, probably around a year, I will turn a profit, and there's nothing the sportsbook can do about it. And as long as you manage your risk correctly and have outs that pay you, you will do the same. And once again, there is nothing the sportsbooks can do about it, knowing that only 0.5% of sports bettors on the planet actually have positive lifetime earnings, actually are profitable. Yeah, anyone can do it once you have access to winning info, or you have the ability yourself to beat lane 11 to 10. That's part one of the puzzle. Part two of the puzzle is managing that risk correctly. That's what the Steam Room was formed for. It helps me put my subscribers in the absolute best position to where they actually use the information correctly. Because I have to come in here every single week, after a winning week, after a losing week, and I have to face them. And I don't mean it like, oh, I got to face you if I got crushed and it's embarrassing. Meaning we're going to sit down and we're going to talk about where we are, why we're here, where we're going. And if let's say I'm up 50 units and you're up only 10, or you're at break even only, why? How can we fix that? Because I don't care if there's only one person in the Steam Room with me. The goal of this was to make sure these people profit. And on December 31st, when I tweet out my results, if they're profitable for 2024, as they were for 2023, as they were for 8 of the last 9 years, I will continue to say that because I'm extremely proud of it. If that's the case, and I profit again, then there's zero reason anybody in the Steam Room shouldn't have done the same. And if they didn't, then they need to take a step back and reevaluate the situation like I had to do. I had to get real with myself because I managed to lose bankroll after bankroll after bankroll, even though I had access to the sharpest information on the planet. And I woke up one day, I was almost 40 years old, and what did I have, 10 grand saved? A bankroll and credit, that's it? When did I waste all that time, all that knowledge, all that experience, all that information, winning information that these guys crushed it with? And I managed to lose. Why? Because I don't have the discipline? Because I don't have the patience? Dude, we all want a six-pack. But last night, I had a piece of coffee cake before bed. I'm not getting a six-pack anytime soon. Why? Because my actions don't reflect someone that should have a six-pack. Same thing with sports betting. The market don't owe you shit. Sports betting, the casinos don't owe you nothing at all. In fact, the opposite. They're a business that's there to take your money. They tell you that. They let you know. How do they let you know? Because they have a built-in edge against you. And more importantly, if you do beat them, they're going to kick you out. So there's a business model set up that's only designed for you to lose. That's it. Nothing else but to lose your money. It's very difficult to win. That's why I'm keeping it real. I'm #1 at Wager Talk since the site launched in profit. I'm #1 at Wager Talk over the last 365 days. I believe in profit. #1 or 2 always. If I want to just make my money selling picks, I could put up packages every day, promote a big fucking play, and tell you how I'm #1, #1 over again. I will sell a shitload of packages. That's not what I want to do, dude. Thank God that part of my life or that time where that would have been a viable option for monetary gain is gone. Not only am I in a different financial position, but I'm a different person. And if you don't look back at your old self and cringe, you haven't evolved. Or you're a saint, and God bless you if you are. I wasn't, but I'm doing the right thing now. I'm doing the right thing by myself, and that's why I'm being rewarded for it. I'm doing the right thing by my family, my friends, and I'm doing the right thing by my subscribers. That's the one thing I sleep comfortably at. Even if I'm up or down, I work my ass off for my subscribers. I have access to the strongest and sharpest, most profitable information. I try to help them manage the risk as efficiently as possible. And I produce the results, not just want to do it, but actually have done it. So please, this isn't an infomercial. This is just for all the new people to understand. If our goals are not aligned and you truly are not in this for the long term and to use this as an investment vehicle and treat it like a business, it will not pay you like a business. You will not only lose your money to the bookmaker, but you will lose your money to me too. And I don't want that. I don't need that in my life. I don't want that on my conscience. I don't want that karma. I don't want to take your money. Like I said, there's a children's hospital right down the street from me. There's multiple families right now in there that need that money more than the sports books do. Just stop by, park, drive your car, walk in there and hand it to them. Hand it to any family. I promise you they need it. I promise you they're going to need it. Don't give it to the sports books. And if you're sitting there following that bullshit on gambling Twitter and all that nonsense and all those parlays and life-changing bullshit, that's exactly what's going to happen. You're going to lose your money to your bookmaker, and you could have done so many good things with that for yourself, for your loved ones, for your family, for fucking strangers even, for complete strangers. But do something good, man. You got me. I'm in this mood right now. I told you. I'm so laser focused on doing nothing else but this. That's why you're seeing content from me and everything else. Before I hang this up and walk away from the pick selling industry, I will have left my mark as someone who at least tried and left a blueprint for those that want to do it the right way. I can't promise that anyone's even going to look at it or follow it or acknowledge it. But at least I know when I walk away, when it was all said and done over that last decade plus, there's zero reason anyone that worked with me and partnered up with me shouldn't have made fucking money. Zero reason. And if they didn't, then they need to take a hard look at themselves in the mirror like I had to do about 15 years ago. It's not fun. It's not fun. I promise you that, like Jimmy Two-Time. It isn't a good time when you start to realize I was a jerk off. I deserved to lose my money. I should have been in debt. I lost my mind. I was acting like a degenerate and thinking like I should have been rewarded for it, as if I should have gotten lucky, like God should have looked out for me. Why? What did I do to even look out for myself? Nothing. I did nothing to protect myself. And I expect to get rich betting. Dude, there's so many easier things to do than this. This is probably the last thing you want to take on if you're not dead serious. But on that flip side of that coin, and this is the good news, this is the great news. And I'm, again, just keeping it real. The flip side of that coin, if you don't want to take it for real, you don't have to. You don't want to use it in an investment vehicle like I do, you don't have to. You can have fun with betting and gambling and sports betting and not get yourself in trouble. Have at it. Come into the steam room when it's free. Learn as much as you can. Put you in the best position to profit. Try to hunt down sources that are willing to show you their long-term results, whether they're positive or negative. Work with those kind of people. And I hope you do well. God bless you. But we're doing something a little different here, a little bit different. And I want to welcome you guys all. I didn't want to go long, so for that, I'm going to share some information real quickly because something just came in. Copa America, don't know if this game went off yet. It's America, USA, USA, -1. USA, Copa America, -1, all the way up to -140. -140. So that's in Copa. Oh, there they go against Panama. There we go. Okay, let's give them out. Let's give them out. 3% play. We're laying -1. I'll give it -140. I just got 135, but here we go. All right, Copa, Copa, Copa. Okay, now I'm going to get to some other stuff for you too. But first, let's do our calisthenics. Let's do our calisthenics. And more importantly, let's do our results. We always do those. We always do those. Oh, my guy went up to 155 now. All right, all right. Getting a little respect there. I'll take it. I'll take it. All right, let's go. Let's go. Here's how we bet. I'm going to explain this to you as simply as I can. Once you have an edge, whether you've proven it yourself by producing profit over your last 1,000 to 2,000 bets, which will then make you a favorite to do it again over your next 1,000 to 2,000 bets. That's all it does. Once you're able to either do that or you have access to proven plus CV information, like I provide for my subscribers, once you do that, you now are in control. You decide what your risk of ruin is. You personally determine what your risk of being ruined will be. Let me explain. Based on having that edge, I can decide what percentage of time I want to double my bank and what percentage of time I'm willing to lose my bank. And based on that is the amount of units I need. Let me put it to you this way. Let's say I have the lowest risk tolerance, meaning, dude, I'm afraid to cross the street. Unless there's a stoplight there, I won't cross the street. Like if I look up when I walk out the door, afraid something's going to fall. Like if you're that terrified, you have zero risk tolerance. So you're like, you know what? I want a 1% risk of ruin. So that 99 out of 100 times I'm going to double my bank. Only one time out of 100, I'm going to lose my bank. You can do that. Here's all you need. You need 1,000 units. That's it. With 1,000 units and the edge that I've been able to provide based on my ROI, 1,000 units, your risk of ruin is 1%. So in other words, if you're betting $25 a unit, like I'm doing with a $10,000 bankroll, to have a 1% risk of ruin, you need a $25,000 bankroll. So any of my subscribers with a $25,000 bankroll that are betting $25 to 125. So remember, the wager talk percentages are ratings. 1%, 2%, 3%, 4%, 5% are ratings. Like I tell my subscribers, just pretend they're stars. 1 star, 2 star, 3 star, 4 star, 5 star. That's it. What we do is we bet 0.25%, 0.50%, 0.75%, 1%, and 1.25% of our bankroll based on that 1 star, 2 star, 3 star, 4 star, 5 star at Wager Talk, which is percentages. You get it. So in other words, if I have a 4% play at Wager Talk, what's that for me? 0.25, 0.50, 0.75, 1%. Oh, it's 1% of bankroll. So on a $10,000 bankroll, they would bet $25 per unit. 1% of that 10,000 is $100. Now again, to get it to a 1% risk of ruin, you need 25,000. It's that simple. Let me get this paper for you. Give me a sec. just to put this in perspective for you, let's say you want, you know what, Ace? I'm a gambler, brother. I'm a gambler. I'm willing to take I'll do a 40% risk of ruin, 40%. So 6 out of 10 times I want to double my bank. 4 out of 10 times I'm okay with losing it. You figure I have a good paying job. I could replenish my bankroll. As long as I'm doubling it 6 out of 10, I'm going to keep making money over the long term. And the time that I'm losing, I'll be okay. Hopefully I'm bankrolls ahead. Regardless, I could replenish. So let's say I got a 40% risk of ruin, Ace. I'm that risky. I'm that guy that don't look when he crosses the street, that's willing to run out in the highway and just take his shots. I'm that dude that's bungee jumping. I'm that crazy guy that's skydiving. I love risk. I love risk, Ace. I want 40% risk of ruin. Guess what? Guess what? You need 200 units just for that. So if you're betting $25 a unit, you need $5,000 just to have a 40% risk of ruin. How many sports bettors on the planet do you think have a $5,000 bankroll and are betting that small? Again, 200 units at $25 is $5,000. How many do you think have $5,000 or betting $25 a unit? Average bet, we have a 3 to 4% bet. So our average is probably $80 a bet. How many people with a $5,000 bankroll are willing to just bet $75 a bet for a whole year? And even them, their risk of ruin, they're going to lose their roll 4 out of 10 times. Even with that much of a bankroll, of a cushion. That's why less than 0.5% of bettors are profitable. Like even those with access to winning info, like I was, because I was underfunded. The number one reason why most card counting groups actually lose money isn't because they can't count cards, is because they're underfunded and they overbet their edge and can't afford the swings that are mathematical certainty. It's not opinion. It's just fact. It's math. It took me a long time to learn this shit. But once I did, it just became obvious. And I told you, the way I learned it was simple. Not simple, it was difficult. It was when I played blackjack, because I saw the long run in real time. See, in blackjack, if I find a quick dealer and I'm playing one-on-one, double deck, I could get in 200 hands an hour. So in 4 hours, only 4 hours a day, I'm getting 800 bets in. Even 5 days a week, I'm getting 4,000 bets in. Per month, that's 1,600 bets. Per year, that's almost, what, 19,000 bets, 18.2? Do you know how long it's going to take me in sports to make 18,000 sports bets? 6, 7 years. In blackjack, I could do that in 1 year. So when I did that with the card counting crew, here's what I saw. There's nothing they could do to beat us as long as we bet sized correctly and made the right move. Like there's a right move in blackjack for everything based on what the dealer has, what you have, what the count is, and what's in the discard tray. Those 4 factors determine exactly what you should be doing. There is no what ifs. It's like chess. There's a right move based on probability, and that's it. There may be 1,000 of them, 10,000 of them, 2 million of them, but there are right moves that you make. And I saw when we made them, holy shit, at the end of the year, I was sitting on a for me, a fortune. And along the way, I didn't even notice it. We were going up, down, round, round. It didn't even matter. What mattered was doing the right thing, bet sizing correctly, taking it back to the hotel, having them punch it into the computer simulation, whatever they had, because there was like 8 of us playing. And when it was all said and done and we had doubled the bank, we chopped it up. We chopped it up. And I saw in real time just what doing the right thing and betting correctly can do to a casino if you have an edge. And now I saw in real time why they made a book and a movie over that MIT team that had about a 2% edge, 1.5%, 2% edge over the house. They got a movie made after them. They had books written about them with a 2% edge. So I'm telling you, your edge, even if you have one, isn't going to be that great, which means you cannot overbet your edge or else you will be ruined. It's that simple. It's that simple. And most guys, I've asked guys, what's your bankroll? What are you betting? Most bettors in the casino right now are at about an 80, 85% risk of ruin, where 85, probably even higher % of the time, they will lose their money, and maybe at 10 to 15% time, they will double it. They're playing with that kind of disadvantage and laying 11 to 10 for that privilege, paying admission for it. Dude, again, man, I'm just telling you how it is, not how I want it to be. I wish it was different. That's how it is. Let me get some of these questions. Let's get me some of these questions. All right, Thomas, that happened to me last year. AT&T sold me fiber. Yeah, dude, the bug, if you ain't compared for it, why are you telling me fiber optic shit? All right, any forecast on lithium? Lucky for you. Guess what Ace just did this morning? Boom, boom, boom. I just charted lithium. I just charted lithium. What a coincidence. What a coincidence. Here's our big buy. Here's our big buy. Let's put the glasses on. Right now, I told you, I dabbled a little bit. I already dabbled a little bit in commodities, you know, around $40. It's at $39.45, okay? At 32.70, right around that 32.70 range, actually, we could start getting involved at 34.50. At 34.50, $5 away. So we're about 10 to 12, about 12, 13% away. We need about 10, 12% drop in lithium to really unload. It may not get there. It may go back up where we have a decent trade, but the way the market is going, we do have that chance. I'm actually hoping the trade goes against me, believe it or not. The same thing with wheat, and wheat's starting to go up. You guys saw wheat's up to 532 today. Remember? Remember where we were? Right around that 520 range. It dropped down around there. Around right now, I have a big buy at 501. At 501. I don't think we're going to get there till August. Wheat's going to do its thing, but I think mid-August, around there, we're going to get a real good opportunity to buy some more of these commodities. That's why I've been telling my guys in the daily chat, like, take small positions, because if when the trade goes against you, you want a dollar cost average. You're even hoping some of these trades go against you, so you could dollar cost average lower. So that's where I'm at with lithium. That's the price that I'm looking to back up the truck at 34.50. And then if it gets to 32.70, that'll be the last big buy. If it goes against me after that, you know, I'll just have to hold it, because it's not going to, you know, it's going to bounce back. Trust me, once we hit the recession, those commodities, lithium, wheat, uranium, gold, all that shit's going to skyrocket. All right, thank you, Morgan. Ernesto, Ernesto says, if you don't accept the ups and downs of gambling, this isn't for you. Of those who take it seriously like a business, Ace is your man. It's not personal, ATM. He's a legend. Thank you, sir. I'm not. And I don't want people to lose Ernesto. Like, I want them to understand, like, I'm profitable at doing this. I know I'm very good at it, but I'm not like a psychic. I am going to lose. I am going to lose. And if you're prepared to lose, you will profit. You just have to be able to overcome that negative stretch. If you do that, you're gold, man. And you do that with 0.5, 0.25, 0.50, 0.75, 1%, 1.25. That's it. And you execute patience and you employ patience. That's my stock, guys. Let's see what they got. This is such a hard Discord to get on. They don't even sell to get up on this one. I got on it from being at that seminar. The shit they put in here, forget about it, dude. These guys are doing the Gann wheel. They're doing the Gann wheel, bro. Like, straight like that. They're plotting the moon and the sun and the stars and the planets. They're taking it next level shit. And cycles, I didn't believe that, you know, about horoscopes and nonsense like that. But obviously it's been proven with the Gann method that there are cycles, I'm looking if there's a swing trade. There's a swing trade for us that I could share. Nah, we don't force. Let's wait for BTC to keep dropping. All right. All right, let me see. Question. Any change in unit if I'm only seeing it at minus 125? Yeah, I would bet a little bigger. You know, the further you are from the implied win probability, the greater your edge is. That's how I based my, whether I'm betting, you know, 1% rating, 2% rating, 3% rating, 4% rating, or 5% rating. The bigger the difference is, the bigger my bet's going to be. So yeah, there, instead of a 3%, I may go 3.5, may go 4, depending on how big of the difference is. All right. You talk about wagering on faves and dogs differently. If your base unit is 100, minus 200 wager, 200 to win 100, plus 200 wager to win 100. Yes. Yeah, that's what I've been doing. Again, if you have a big enough sample size that says just flat betting the same on everything of mine produces more of a profit, then do that. I've found that doing it my way, where I flat bet the favorite, the dog, excuse me, let's say I'm betting a plus 200 dog, I'm just going to bet 100 on it to win 200. If I'm betting a minus 200 favorite, I bet 200 to win 100. So the VIG's always included to win that amount, or I'm flat betting that amount on the dog, just like you have. So at 1%, if it's a minus 300, we're really putting 3% because we're laying 300 to win 1. And kind of like if it's a plus 300 dog, we're putting that 1% to win 3%. Again, if someone could show me a 3,000 or 4,000 bet sample size, where doing it different truly is more profitable, and then even show a 5,000 bet, maybe go 2-3 years out, then I'd be like, glad, let's change this up. Let's just go 3% across the board. And that may be better. Honestly, that may be better. I just don't, if it ain't broke, don't try to fix it. The way I did it got me here, so I don't want to ruin it. I don't want to risk it. That's the problem I'm having. But I'm sure there's more efficient ways to profit off that information. All right. Let's see. Question. And when you list your profit and loss units, what are you considering? 4%, 1%. But again, the VIG's included in the results. I'm not cheating. No one's cheating. If I give a 3% play on football at -8, -110, I lose 3.3. I don't lose 3. So believe me. Wow, Ernesto at 34,000 bankroll right now. Started with 14K, kept profit from last year, adding personal capital in along with the way my long-term goal is to get to 400K, just like you. Dude, once you get there, I promise you, dude, you're going to sleep so good because you're like, they're never going to get this back. Like, they will never get this money back unless I do something stupid and overbet. That's exactly what this gentleman did. That's exactly what this was built for. Someone just like that, to take his 15 grand, have it at 40, and let's move that 40 and let's get to 400. We're not going to do it in a year. We may not even do it in 2 or 3 years. We will get there. I got there. He said, I'm hustling to achieve that, and our goals are always aligned. Praying to God, you got a few more years working for you. Me too, my man. As long as I stay healthy, and I'm really motivated right now. And especially now that I teamed up with Wager Talk, like officially teamed up to be Team Wager Talk. Yeah, I committed. I committed to. They really lit a fire under me again. Like, dude, this is the biggest audience you're ever gonna have. You've been doing this when sports betting was in the back rooms. You're trying to educate and show people through your experiences. Why would you not do it now when sports betting is so big front and center, and you have the biggest opportunity to touch the most amount of people when you were doing it then for the fewest? And again, it just makes sense, man. Johnny's a smart guy. So sometimes you just got to listen to people that are smart and they make sense. That's where I've gotten lucky. I never needed to be the smartest guy in the room. It gets a little messy when I go on Wager Talk to see track record and they say 30% profit for the week, trying to determine what that actually means to my bankroll specifically. Does all this make sense? Bro, I told you, why you were even looking at a week makes no sense to me. If you're doing this, like, you keep your own tracking, but anyone in my steam room knows I go over we laugh at the last 3 days, last 7 days. because one day I'm number 1 and the next day I could be number 20th. Like, that's the volatility of sports betting. But as far as if someone says they're up 30%, then I guess they're up 30%. I know how I do it. And I simply reflect the exact units won and lost with the VIG. Obviously, it's not percent because we're not doing it based on a bankroll at Wager Talk. So the percentage of bet would be adjusting. You can't do that in real time, which is why I've made it simple by 0.25, 0.50, 0.75, 1%, 1.25. Now, so I don't know if I'm answering your question, but again, I mean, I guess if they say they made 30% profit for the week, they made 30% profit for the week, you know, on those percentages. Given a 3% play, if they went 10-0, they picked up 30% at minus 110. If they're betting 3% of their bankroll, that's fair. That's not a lie. I just don't bet 3% of my bankroll on anything. So if I'm up 30%, it would be different. It would be different. So that's why that's why I do mine every day with my guys. I mean, on the Bet with Ace little YouTube thing that we may continue, we may not, we'll see. But on the weekly Steam Room, that's why I go over my independent results down to the exact penny. So there is no confusion at all. Zero, none. This is where we're at, and this is where we started. All right. Jacob, are you still holding PayPal, Brazil, ETF, and TLT? I'm holding TLT, got out of the other two. Took a small loss on the Brazil ETF, but I just got out of that. I just didn't like how the chart was playing out. And when PayPal made me my score, I think it was less than 10%, but it happened so quickly, I'm out. I'm a trader. I'm not a long-term holder. I realized that about myself, and I actually lost a lot of money in some investments because I'm not built like that. Like, if I held crypto a lot longer, I probably would have made a lot more money. But once I make a percentage, I'm a trader, so I don't expect things to go straight up in a line. That's why I get in, I get out. If I make my profit, I'm out. I'm on to the next trade. I got to play for you guys right now. Okay. Here's something. This is good because you're going to learn how the wise guys bet. Soccer. Pull up soccer. All right. Go to Iceland. Iceland. Okay. Pull up your Iceland. And here's what we're betting. It's half Majordu and bread de bullock. I'll spell it out for you, seriously. It's HAFNARFJORDUR verse BREIDABLIK. Okay, and we're going over 3.25 at minus 110, and we're taking plus forgive me. Yeah, we're going under, sorry, under. See, it's written all crazy, man. I can't even pronounce these names. So we're going under 3.25, and we're also taking that dog on a pick at plus 121, and the dog is that Hafna Farjadu team, HAFNARFIJORDUR. We're taking them at a pick and plus 121, and we're taking the under 3.5 also up to minus 120, and then we have one more. The limits are so small on this, I can't even release to subscribers. Even mine, I have a place I could bet 5 dimes per play. They won't take more than 200. So I'm not going to give this to my subscribers. What am I going to give it out? A 0.25% play? We don't do that. I give them gold. But this is for you. If you want to get down, get down. And then I have one more. It's the play game right above that. IA Acranis, AKRANES verse Valur, VALUR. Second word, REYJKJAVIK. And there we're going over 3.5 at minus 110. I got over 3.25 at minus 120. I'll take that. But again, only $200 bets, only $200 bets. So I'm not going to give the subscribers, but there you go. Mark, if to be clear, if my 3% bet size is 100 and the vig is minus 200, I bet 200 to win 100. That's what I do. That's what I do. That's what I do, and that's what our the results that I show at Wager Talk, that's what they reflect. That's exactly what they reflect. Yes, TLT is the only one I'm holding. You probably want a small position in it, nothing big. There's just better, if you want a long-term hold, there's just better long-term holds. I just thought it's going up. I have some money parked in it, so I kept it. It's not a big position. All right, Ryan, thank you, sir. Thank you. Question, if you make a bet and you later don't like it and the line moves against you, what do? Do you just roll with your original bet, or do you bet the other side, risking losing both bets? I never risk losing both. At that point, I just got to eat it. I just got to eat it. And the way I look at it is simple. It's the same way when I want to throw off the casino that I'm willing to bet $1,000 on the first hand, right out of the gate, right off the shoe. Like, let's say I'm playing at the $100 table in high limit, and let's say the last shoe, I ended up winning like $3,000, $4,000. The first bet out of the shoe, I'm pushing 1,000. Even though the last 5, I might have done only 100, because there's no card counter on the planet that's going to bet big, some of his biggest bets, without seeing a single card. But here's what I know. See, here's what I know. I know that the built-in edge on that game is about 0.20. 0.20, that's it. So out of that $1,000 bet, it's costing me $20 in EV to throw them off. See, I look everything as EV. I don't look at it as a $1,000 bet. I look at it as what's my expected value from that bet. And since their edge is 0.2, they have the edge in this hand. Since I haven't seen a single card yet, I have 0 count. They have that built-in edge. So they have that $1,000 bet. They're long-term, they're going to win $20 on it off me. That's it. That's how I look at it. So with a bet like that, where I bet over 47, but then I start liking the under, but I look up and it's at 45 now, I'm not changing my bet. I'm not going over 47, under 45, where if it lands 46, I lose both bets. I'll never do that. That's just a point where I'm going to eat it. I got to eat it and try to learn. You just got to eat it and hope for the best. And maybe look at halftime, maybe look at live if I could get off it. But usually I'm just going to let it roll. And consider that my punishment. Consider that my punishment. All right. Okay, let me get back to the questions. What are my thoughts on in-game betting? If you do it, where should you look to attack? I talked about that a couple of days ago for long on one of the videos. So I won't take a lot of time here because we went really deep. If you have time, then obviously live betting is something you want to take a look at, but you got to be really selective, because the goal of live betting is to get you involved as much as possible. And if you're negative EV, volume's just going to deplete your bankroll. The quicker. For an advantage player, they're using live one of two ways: either to scalp or middle their original bet, which is, a lot of times an opportunity, or take advantage of an inefficiency. Maybe the game's 2 minutes in and someone scored quickly, and now the game line's much different than the live line. There's randomness to a quick score, and maybe you want to then get involved. But more times it's just, guys that, at least the betting syndicates, the timing's too hard. So it's more on an individual level that anyone's going live. And that's why the books want to keep pushing it. Their negative is that some of this stuff is delayed. So there's betting syndicates that have people at multiple sporting events that are updating what's really happening in real time. And they may have a 13-second, 30-second, 40-second head start of the television feed. So they're looking to take advantage that way. Like I said, the wise guys, they're looking for an edge. If there's not an edge there, we're not betting. I don't bet for action. I'm not betting because I'm watching the game where I want to see this player score 22 points. I could give two fucks whether he scores 22 points or 0 points. Like, if I'm not going to watch that happen is what I'm saying. If I place the bet, it's because there was an inefficient number. So getting back to live betting, my advice is be very cautious. Be very cautious. It's very easy to get sucked into heavy volume. And if you're not sure you have an edge, that's probably something you shouldn't be doing, is placing heavy volume. I personally don't have time, to sit there and watch the games. I don't really have a desire either, to be honest with you. But more importantly, I just don't have the time to sit there after working all day. Once the games go off, I'm gone. Like, to sit through 3 more hours to try to find some more spots, yeah, it just isn't advantageous for me. Especially a lot of times I would come up with the play, and by the time I go to bed, it's gone. Then the limits were lower. So it's just the time wasn't worth it to me. But that's why for smaller recreational bettors, it probably is, just like a lot of those smaller markets and props. So yeah, my advice, attack it if you can. Where can you attack it? Wherever they're weak, man. If I knew that, I'd be just doing that. I mean, they're weak where everyone else is weak. Like I said, sometimes a team gets out quickly and there's that recency bias of what just happened, instead of taking a step back and looking at the game line, the game total. How's that affected? So, I pretty much the same way you bet straight, except you're going against different kind of traders. You got to know the market you're trading against. That's where the difference comes in, I think. So again, not much. If you want to go back, I think it was 2 days ago where we went really deep. We talked about how in Europe, over 80-90% of bets on tennis, soccer come after the game start. That's what they're trying to do here, why they're trying to do that here, how the VIG is greater on a lot of those bets. And that's why most betting syndicates don't even get involved, because again, the limits are lower. It's harder to get down. That's a quick way to get kicked out. The VIG is high. There's so many reasons not to. But those that are kicking its ass, they found their little plus EV spot, and they just keep crushing it. I'm not one of them. I don't really do it with the live. I'm old school. All right. Can you explain what, if I missed you guys, maybe write it again, because there's a bunch of them. Can you explain what is meant by on screen and off screen? Simple. If you go to Wager Talk and you hit their live odds, every book on there is an on-screen book. That means any book can just look on their live screen and see what those on-screen books have as a line and copy it. Look at Pinnacle, look at Bet Online. What do they have? Oh, I could just move it so nobody bets me there. That's what on-screen is. That's why a lot of times I have a penny account that I get asked to bet into, so that the line moves and we could bet the other side, meaning they'll use that account to manipulate it. 1 out of every 10 bets only, because you do it all the time. They're going to catch it. 1 out of 10, 1 out of every 20 bets isn't a legit play. We use it to manipulate it because everyone's just going to copy it. But off screen are credit accounts. All the books that the bookies we deal with, the book the bartender gave you or your friend at the pizza store, that's all off screen, where there's not a line service that you could look up and look. So there, no one's copying the lines. Those are the books that the betting syndicates hit first. We hit all the credit accounts first. Why? Because the line won't move. If we hit an on-screen book first, then Bet Online's going to move it. Once Bet Online moves it, MGM's going to move it. Caesar's going to move it. All of them are going to move it. Once they move it, obviously the off-screen books are going to copy too. They're not going to just sit there and wait for me to come in and hit it. So that's the difference between on-screen and off-screen. And that's the manipulation game that betting syndicates use with on-screen and off-screen books. Because if I'm flagged right now at Penny, especially for MMA. So right now I could go bet $250 on an MMA bet and have it move at least 5 cents. Now that's not a lot, but the piggybackers will then have it moved to 8 cents, to 10 cents. And then the other books may move it to 12, 15. So just that $250 bet helped us get a much better number. I know many of you are thinking, get the fuck out of here. Are you kidding? Yeah, that's exactly how it happens. If you were in the live room the last few days, I did it for them live. I showed them on my computer. This is the bet we're making. Look where the line's going to go in about 30 seconds, probably more like 2 minutes, because depends on the sport, is where I am in the food chain, how quickly I get the game. But I let the viewers see in real time how we move numbers. And like I said, it's not me that they're afraid of, it's who I represent. They know that I'm moving for this winning group. All right. Okay. Advice on getting your first credit account: be very careful. Be very careful. Credit accounts are the way to go. But again, you're dealing with bookies where there's no recourse if they tell you fuck off. So if you're moving sharp stuff, that's why I say have multiple outs. You pour all that sharp shit through one guy, it's cheaper for him to tell you go fuck yourself than pay you. It's happened to me. And what are you going to do? Go around killing everybody? Let's keep it real. It's 2024. Everybody's got a Ring doorbell. You ain't doing shit. You ain't doing nothing. None of us are. So the truth is, that's the problem of dealing with credit books, is if you're betting sharp stuff, which they don't want, there's a risk of not getting paid. But the way you do it is simply talk sports betting, man. Go to a Monday Night Football game where there's sports bettors there. Go to a bar where there's a UFC card from morning to 6 hours there. You're going to meet sports bettors. You're going to meet the bartenders. Say, you know anywhere I could place a bet? You know anywhere where I could place a bet? That's it. That's it. And yeah, they may look at you like, oh, just post it, DraftKings. Nah, man, I don't like to put my money in accounts where I'm not getting interest. I'm talking credit shops. Again, why would I put, like I'm betting 1,000 to 5,000, let's say, okay? So let's say, what do I need? I need to keep 20, 30, 40, 50,000 in an individual account. So what, I'm going to put 50,000 sitting in a non-interest bearing account when I could get 5.5% on that just sitting in USDC in Coinbase? Why would I ever do that? Why? Oh, I wouldn't do that. So that's why I use credit accounts, to be honest with you, and not to get kicked out. But yeah, those are, I mean, honestly, I turn them down. I get them thrown at me all the time. I just know that my intentions are to pay. So I'm very cautious on which accounts I'll accept. And most times I prefer to deal with a middleman who's going to stand for it. I don't want to know the bookie. I don't care about the bookie. I deal with you. When I lose, I pay you. So when I win, I need you to pay me. I don't need you to tell me I got to collect from this guy, this guy, this guy to pay you. That's not my problem. I'm giving you 10% free roll so that I sleep comfortably. And whether your book pays you or not, I get paid by Tuesday. That's it. That's it. That's how I roll. And most times, if they're legit, they're going to want to take the free roll. You're getting 10% for nothing of my winnings. And when I lose, nothing comes out of pocket. Why wouldn't you take that? And I'm sure you also worked out a deal with the bookie where you're getting 10% of my losses also. And I tell the guys, get that deal. What are you, crazy? Because I'm going to have losing weeks and I'm going to lose to some guys. There may be, that's why I say have multiple books. If you have 5 books, there may be one we keep losing to. I have one book where, again, like last year where I won and I got buried with him. I think I lost like 60, 70 dimes through him. Just happened to be that book I lost through. The bets I made, the numbers I got, I didn't win with him. But we increased starting capital by 80%. So that's my thoughts on credit books. They're the best to have, but they're also the riskiest. They're also the riskiest. So you want to balance that out with how much are you going to bet there? How much if you win? You know what I mean? Like you got to factor all that in. You got to factor all that in. All right. Okay. Get these questions. They just keep moving down. It's almost like all right, I just got to start going backwards. It almost seems. Hold on. All right. Your daddy's solid. Do damage. 215 in the area, baby. 215-610. Delco all day. UD, baby. UD. Any tips betting the Olympics? No, sir. No, sir. Is there a lot of public money betting it or remote? I have no idea. Honestly, like that's, again, it's so hard to win, man. We have to lay 11 to 10. A lot of those sports are even going to be higher vig because they're aimed at recreational bettors. I'm not going to start handicapping powerlifting. I know nothing about powerlifting. I'm not going to start handicapping racquetball or fencing, or I don't know it. I don't know it. So what I'm going to do is sit back, and if any of the wise guys I work with and betting syndicates I work with fire on the Olympics, I'm going to piggyback it because I'm sure they're going to have a huge edge. The only reason they'd get involved in those sports, like with soccer and tennis and NASCAR, I'm just keeping it real. And that's the mistake that most recreational bettors do. They jump from season to season to season. Like, have you proven like you going to beat this sport? Like please don't take this the wrong way, sir. I'm not, again, no, there's no such thing. I love the questions. And I told you, I never take anything personal. I have thick skin. So please do the same. This isn't ever like, I'm bashing or yelling, at a question or something. What I'm saying is, like, I don't know anything about the Olympics. It comes along once every 4 years, or now every 2 years, summer, then winter. I don't even know because I don't really watch it. But what I'm saying is, like, it's like taking on, it's like what happened with COVID, perfect example. People started betting Korean baseball and Slovakian hockey. Dude, what are you doing? What the fuck do you know about Korean baseball? And let me guess, you're not betting Korean baseball now, are you? That's what I'm saying. It's like they're hoping to lose money. They're looking for ways to lose money. It's hard enough to beat 11 to 10 if you have inside information. It's hard enough to beat 11 to 10 if you just have winning information. We know that. We know that. Out of 100 people in the sports book, 0 are profitable. 0. You need 200 people just for one of them to be profitable. I tell you, this guy's out of love, out of respect, not out of like putting anyone down or anything like that. But these are the mistakes recreational bettors make over and over. And here's what's going to happen. In about a month or whenever the Olympics start, you're going to start seeing on Twitter nothing but promotion about betting the Olympics. Then you're going to start seeing content. Guys that never talked about powerlifting before, that never talked about fencing before, are all of a sudden going to start talking powerlifting and doing videos and content on that nonsense. Again, man, there's the steam room, there's everything else. The best way I could put it. All right. See money. How do you know you were ready to finally go into a casino and count? How confident are you at the table that your count is dead on? Thanks is always on. I'm 100%. I'm 100%. As soon as I feel I'm not 100%, I leave. Like if I'm a little bit tired, I'm gone. There's so many times I swear to you, it happened probably like a week ago. We were leaving the casino, we went to dinner for a casino because sometimes I won't go to a casino for a while, but we went to dinner inside a casino. And I happen to have money on me because I had to meet somebody there also that's settled. So jokingly, she's like, "You want to play blackjack?" Not really jokingly. She was like, "Let's play blackjack." But anyway, I was like, "Nah, I'm tired, babe." She's like, "Seriously?" I'm like, "Yeah, I'm not playing, dude. If I'm not optimum, I'm not playing. I'm not playing. I need to know I'm at my best." Because, dude, it's hard to win. The way that I knew, honestly, was when they finally threw me out. When they threw me out is when I knew I belonged there. Until they threw me out, I wasn't confident I belonged there. When they threw me out is when I did. And then when they threw me out is when I truly learned how to count cards. Because up until then, I just learned how to be a card counter. After that, I learned how to be a profitable card counter, how to actually do it, get away with it, make money doing it. That's when your game completely changes. That's why I'm telling you, all these books, I have such a library of blackjack books. Believe me when I tell you, I say the story all the time. I bought a Ken Houston book that is ripped just to get some of the pages of knowledge, dude, and paid astronomical money for it. So I've read all the good books, and here's what they all do. They all teach you how to be a card counter, but they don't teach you how to do it, how to get away with it. Once you learn that, that's the stuff you're going to have to learn on your own. And you'll see once you finally get kicked out, you'll know you're doing it right. And that's when you're going to have to make your adjustments. That's when you really dig into the game and you start saying, where did I deviate? Where shouldn't I have deviated? Did my bet size give it away? What gave it away? And then you start thinking next level, next level, next level. It's kind of like poker. You start playing poker, the only thing you know is, what do I have? A little later, you start learning, what does he have? What do I think he has? Then you take it to third level thinking, where, what do I think he thinks I have? Then you go to fourth level thinking, what does he think? What do I think he thinks I think I have? You know, they take it to those levels. It's next level thinking is what I'm trying to get at. It's the same with the card counting. Once you eventually get thrown out, then they're telling you you're doing something right. But you got to figure out how to get away with it. That's the best way you'll know for sure you're ready to go. Now, with that said, they have thrown out people that wouldn't be profitable just because of the way they bet spread. But still, that will give you confidence. And the only other way to truly know is put in the hours and look at your results and realize that after so many hands, you should be up. Like, you should be within one statistical deviation away. Like, if you're 4 deviations away, then you're doing something wrong. You know, so that's the best way to look at it. Definitely document results and that what's it called? Wait, sorry, I just saw a question come in. All right, where are we at with the question? Okay, how much money would you need? Oh man, how did that go away? Thank you, Neil. Thank you. Seems like the local books I have found have lousy lines in VIG versus the offshore books. Is that the norm? Yes. But here's the thing. Just use them for the lines you want. I've talked about that the other day. Like, I have a book that has the worst spread, but I'm only looking to bet one side of it. And when I find that number at that book, I'll bet at that book. If it's not there, I don't use that book. See, if you have multiple books and I'm looking for minus 122, if they have minus 122, I'm going to bet it there, or minus 120. I don't care if the take back is what's it called? Also minus. I don't care what their take back is, what their hold is. I'm looking for only one side of the bet. I'm not using them to scalp. I'm not using them really to middle. I'm just looking to place that one bet at that number. So if they have it, I'm going to use it. Now, again, if their VIG is jacked, that's a different story. If I got to lay 115, 120s, I'm not going to use that book. How much would you need bring with you on your one section of blackjack? 8 decks, minimum 10. 8 decks? Dude, don't play an 8-deck game, number one. Yeah, James, I would look for 6 deck at the most, and I would spread, if you're betting $10 a hand to beat 6 deck, you need to go 10 to 200. 10 to 200. That's the way to beat 6 deck. You got to go 1x to 20x to really make it worth it to you, or else go to double deck. Go to double deck. If they're only spreading 8 decks, man, it's a tougher game. It's not you could beat 50 decks if you count, because at the end of each deck you're at 0. So it don't matter the amount of decks. The difficulty comes in determining what's in the discard rack so that your true count's accurate, since you're playing with more cards. And also you're going to have more fluctuation, a lot bigger swings. That's why I don't love 6 deck, to be honest with you. The swings are massive. Like, you go from up 50 units to down 100 units in the same session. Like, that's 6 deck. Like, you got to be willing to take those swings. But 8 deck, man, that's out there. So If I'm going to play a 4-hour session, I need 100 units. When I'm with, let's say, like I said, when I was with my girl, if we're out having dinner and I'm going to play blackjack, I need 100 units or I'm not playing. So if I'm going to go to 100 on the table, I need 10 dimes minimum, or I'm not sitting. I'm not going to play. I don't feel comfortable. I feel like they have the bigger guns. I'm bringing a knife to a gunfight. So I'm done. You know, I'm gambling. I don't want that. Again, risk of ruin. Remember? Risk of ruin. Same thing with blackjack. It's actually, I adopted it from blackjack, the risk of ruin. So that's the deal with playing how you know, 6 decks, 8 deck, 2 deck. You know, the more decks, the higher the house edge. Remember that. The higher the house edge, the harder it is for you to be profitable. And again, once they get into those 8 decks, that's the casinos where you start seeing the weird rules. You start seeing the automatic shuffles, the continuous shuffles. I mean, again, try the best thing you could do is possibly save more bankroll. So you're playing the bigger games. The bigger the game, the better the game and the rules usually are. That's what I found. Like in high limit pits, they're not going to have no continuous shuffle machine. Ain't nobody buying in with, you know, playing flags or chocolate chips, you know, that they're betting chocolates or flags and they're going to see a continuous shuffle and they're going to play. That's not happening. People, you know, aren't rich by accident. They're not rich because they're dumb. They may not be good gamblers, like they may be foolish gamblers, but they're not stupid people. They're not stupid people. So I say 100. If you're playing $10 a hand, if you got 10 dimes, I mean, if you got 10, if you got a dime, you're good. You got a dime, you're good. Because if you're playing double deck, 1x to 10x, then you got 10 max bets. You got 10 max bets. That's great for a 4-hour session. Hopefully you get a chance to use them. But if you're going to 6 deck or 8 deck where you need, you know, 1x to 20x or greater, now you know, the 100 units may not be enough. I don't know. I don't know. If we get the annual discount, can that price be grandfathered in? I'm sure Wager Talk will work with you guys. You know that. They'll definitely work with you guys because my goal has always been the same. Get bettors that are serious to partner up with me. That's it. Once we're partnered up and on the same team, the sky's the limit. There's a good, right now, if you guys want a swing trade for you, is WBA. If you want, let me see right now what it's at. Let's actually mark it here. And long-term Mara, I bought a little Mara, but I think in crypto is going to go down, so I'm not really messing with that. But let me give you this one real fast. Oh yeah. Right now it's at 1172. 1172 on WBA. 1172 on WBA. That's Walgreens. That's Walgreens, okay? It just dropped, so maybe earnings came out. Remember, yesterday it was at $15. Yesterday it was at 15. Today it's at 1170. I just put a buy-in order right now at 1170. It's at 1171. I'm a penny off. Oh yeah, dude. We're at a volume high. Hold on. We're at a 1998 lows, bro. The last time the price was this low was 1998. We're talking a 25-year low right now. Yeah, I'm in. 1170. I'm pushing it up to 1171. I'm not going to miss it by a penny. Even if it drops lower, I'm okay with that. I'm okay with that. And it's even forming a little bear flag, so it may drop a little lower, but I'm just buying 1171. Do what you want. Do what you guys want. Because it looks like it does have a chance of going a little lower. But for me, this is a swing trade. This is one I'm willing to hold for anywhere from 1 week to 3 months. Anywhere from 1 week to 3 months. All right, let me give you some baseball and we can move on. Let me give you some action. What do I have? What do I have in the chamber? You guys already know 0.20, 0.25, 0.50, 0.75, 1%, 1.25. Why? Because we want our risk of ruin low, risk of ruin, excuse me. And even here, what is my risk of ruin? 20%. With a 10,000 bankroll, the risk of ruin is 20%. So 8 out of 10 times, I'm going to double my subscribers' bankroll. 2 out of 10 times, they're going to lose it. Hopefully, they double it up before any of the losses, just like Ernesto did, where he started with, what, 15,000, now up to 35, close to 40,000. That's what I'm hoping for, that they double it up like that before we ever lose one. At 20%, I'm comfortable with that. Now, I tell them go a little lower, have more units, but the minimum, you know, I try to tell them that go to 10%, have 500 units. Have 500 units. So, you know, instead of $25 a unit, go 20 a unit with the 10,000 and you'll have a 10% risk of ruin. 9 out of 10 times you'll double your bankroll. 9 out of 10. That's beautiful. So 9 out of 10 times with 500 units. So if you're betting $10 a unit, you need what? 5 dimes, 5 dimes. You'll double your bank 9 out of 10 times, lose it 1 out of 10 times. That's the way to freaking go, baby. That's the way to do it. All right. Now let's talk some results because I was getting crushed. I was getting demolished. Killed. What do we see here? Last 7 days, up 78 units, 27% ROI on exactly 100 bets. So 100 bets in 7 days, 27% ROI, almost 80 units won. But we bet 0.25 of that. So for us, that's only like what? 30? 20? Actually, 20 units? Excuse me, 20 units? I'll increase my bankroll by 20%. I'm okay with that. Last 7 days. But that's not sustainable. Just like I told you, when guys were crossing the street, and it's funny, I talked to my guys, my guys at the Daily Bet with Ace, and on the Steam Room. Here's what I said. I talked to the Steam Room guys because they were already subscribers. So it's like I was trying to sell them anything. But here's what I said. Right now, the recreational bettors are doing the exact opposite of what they should, and I see it over and over and over again. Meaning, I've proven that I'm plus EV, winning 8 of the last 9 years. Okay, I've proven that. 80% increase just last year on 35 over 3,000 bets. So the argument's gone as far as being plus EV. Okay, and I was at my worst run where my ROI was like at minus 30%. Over the month, 15, 20, 30%. And what did I say? It's not sustainable. Just like a plus 30 isn't sustainable, a minus 30 isn't sustainable for a winning guy. So of course what am I going to do? I'm going to progress to the mean. And what's the mean for me? I've established that profit. But buyers did the exact opposite. They instead, they left their subscription. They even switched to other guys who may be on a 9-1 run, who may be on a 70% run over the last 25 plays. I'm not telling them not to go there. But what I'm telling them is you may have missed that hot streak. Do you know if they're plus EV long-term? Because if they're not, you're about to eat the worst of it because the hot streak's not going to go on forever. Like no one's going straight up in a straight line, but I keep seeing recreational bettors do the opposite over and over and over and over again. They go and buy the hottest guy and they don't buy him for that day. They buy him for the next 3 months. Like he's going to be able to sustain that for 10 years or something. And I said, this is what's going to happen. And that's what happened. That's exactly what happened. Last 7 days, number 1. Last 3 days, number 1. But here's what matters most. Last 365. That's all I care about. Number 1. Number 1. Anyone that joined with me 365 days ago, today has over a 1.5% return on investment on over 3,300 bets and should be up about over 150 units. Again, my goal is to get that to 200 so that every, what's it called? 365 days, I got at least at plus 200, because at plus 200, I've increased bankroll by 50%. At plus 200, like if I know over the last 365, I'm up 200 units or greater, you should have increased your capital by 50%. If you followed along what I said, at 200 units, you should have increased it by 50%. So if you started with 10, you should have 15. You started with 100, you should have 150. If you started like 500,000, like my boys did, the two of them, you should have 750. You should be up 250,000 over the last 365. That's what's up. That's what's up. And that's factoring in the coldest streak we just went on over the last month. Again, bro, numbers don't lie. You don't have to like the look, the smile, the attitude, the boy, all that shit. It means nothing. It's all noise. It's all noise. This is the only thing that matters, numbers. Numbers talk loudly. They scream. They scream. You can't do anything about it. You can't argue them, especially when it's that simple. This is what I'm up. This is how many bets I placed. That's it. Let me give you some winners now so we can get out of here. All right, first I'm going to give you the stuff that I got from other traders. This I haven't used for my subscribers. I'm still going to work on it and see if there's any EV left, if the line's still available, and how I feel about it. They gave 3 WNBA plays, 4 of them. I told you I work with an exclusive WNBA group, okay? Actually, 5 of them. 1 we agreed on and I bet. I'll tell you that one next. Here's the 4 that I haven't used. 601 Minnesota minus 9, 9.5. 606 Chicago plus 11. And 609 Seattle minus 9 and 9.5. And then 601 over 164 Minnesota Dallas. Out of those 4, the only one I may bet that I'm close to possibly confirming is Seattle. Seattle's the one that sticks out a little bit to me. The one I did bet gave 3% premium play, 0.75 of bankroll, under 173 Vegas Chicago, under 173 Vegas Chicago. That's a premium play for subscribers. Now, there's also 2 Canadian football plays that one of the traders gave me. 774 Toronto plus 3, 775 Winnipeg minus 3.5. I don't have any strong opinion either way. I haven't released the subscribers. I don't piggyback blindly until I see how they're doing, and how the market reacts. Looking at it quickly, I like the Winnipeg play more than the Toronto play. That sticks out a little bit to me, especially that it's above the key 3. It's at 3.5. That's a little telling for me. If I gun the head, I had to bet one of these 2, it would be Winnipeg, or I'd leave it alone. Now, so I gave you WNBA premium. I gave you the stuff we shared. Let me give you a Major League Baseball premium play too. Let me see what I can do here. Colorado killed us yesterday. That's what cost it, because we bet it multiple ways, you know. And even though I did go 2%, that's the one that killed us, where we lost 4 bets on it. Colorado first 5, Colorado run line first 5, Colorado game run line. That ended up losing like 10, 11 units just on that bet alone. You know, it happens. But that's how we've been betting them of late, so there's no reason I'm going to change that up. If my guys are betting something 5 different ways, we're going to bet it 5 different ways too. All right. All right. Let me see what baseball I'm going to give you real quick. I was just checking to see if anything else came in. All right, I'm going to give you a total because we bet round number and then the half, and that's Texas Baltimore under. I bet under 8 for the groups I work with, 2 of the baseball groups actually, and I went to give it out to subscribers. Looked up, it was 7.5 across the board, so I didn't. Next thing I know, get another hit. We'll take under 7.5, under 7.5. So of course I gave that out to subscribers as well. So that's Texas Baltimore under 7.5. And today it's the steam room. I'm going to give you guys this too. Why not? We bet, because we bet side and run line. Maybe we catch lightning in a bottle. Hold on. There we go. Yeah, I'm going to give you Miami. Miami money line. Miami on the money line plus 250. Miami plus 1.5 plus 115. Plus 115 at plus 1.5 and plus 250 on the money line. 3% and 3%. That's 0.75, 0.75. So 1.5% of bankroll split. That's how I do it and how I urge subscribers. So gave you a lot of premium stuff there. And WNBA, Major League Baseball. I've given out 4 UFC plays. All 4 of them are 4%. And I'm pretty sure at least one will be upgraded to a 5% play. But I do want to see where this market moves as bettors converge in Vegas, because this is a huge weekend here in Las Vegas. Huge weekend. And I know a lot of the lines will be knocked out of whack by the public. And the books are going to have to shade towards that bias and allow us to get the best of it just to minimize the risk. I lived for these kind of weeks. I learned from last year's International Fight Week and the year before that. Ace, be in no rush. Don't fire the 5% right away. Give it out as a 3 or 4 and then just upgrade it. And that's exactly why I did. So I gave out 4% already. And actually, I think I'm going to give out another one today, to be honest with you. I'm loving this board. I really am. So yeah, they're going to get that too. Actually, I'm going to give it to you now why I give it out. Let's go. Since you're on with me, we're going to go Macy Chiasson. Macy Chiasson, minus 110. Minus 110. At DraftKings, minus 110, minus 110 consensus, minus 110 heritage. Okay, minus 110. Macy Chiasson. Now, this would have been a 5% play had it been plus money, because she opened like plus 130, but the limits were pennies. And within 24 hours of opening, she was down to plus 105. So there was really no rush at that point. I thought it would come back the other way. It's not coming back much. You can wait if you want. Personally, at minus 110, that's good enough for me, because I thought she wins this fight seriously at least 6 out of 10 times. At least 6 out of 10 times where she was a minus 150 favorite. So at that point, I'm going to take her. That's Macy. Macy Chiasson, minus 110, 4%. All right. So we got another one, baby. Let me get that in there, in the book. That's 4%. Yes. When you have an edge, you want volume. You know what's funny? So when I would give volume out, I knew when bettors were not going to make money with me. As soon as they started bitching about volume, I knew one thing: they were underfunded. They were underfunded. And what happened was I gave out 8 plays, they bet them, then I sent out 3 more and they were out of capital. And that's what got them pissed. And those 3 won and the other ones went 4 and 4. That's not my problem. That's not my problem or my fault. But I still try to fix it by urging them to do the right thing. That when you have an edge, all you want is volume. The only reason you don't want volume is if you're negative EV. If you're positive EV, that's the only way you're going to make money. The only other way to make money is to increase your risk of ruin, to make bigger bets. Why would I want to do that? Instead, I want to make more bets, not bigger bets. If I make bigger bets, my risk of ruin increases. Ruin, R-U-I-N. Why would I want to increase the possibility I'm ruined? Just keep that in mind. So that's what volume is good for. If you have an edge, you need volume to make money. That's how we make so much profit. That's why I am #1 in profit since Wager Talk launched, because of my volume. Are you kidding me? That's what we need when you're a winning sports bettor. But when you're underfunded, of course you don't want it. It scares you. You see 15 plays, they were betting 4 markets. That's like 4 plays per market. What do you want? And when you have an edge, why wouldn't you? Because even at, let's say I have 15 plays, and each of them are a 4% play. That's 60 units, but we're only betting 0.25, right? So we're only putting 15% of bankroll. That's it. Spread out all the way across. That's if I have, again, 15 bets at all of them 4%. And I'm only betting 15% of my bankroll. I have to go 0 and 15 just to lose 15% of my bankroll. But most people, if they go 0 and 15, they're going to lose 100% of their bankroll. That's why so few are, what's it called, able to profit long term. Jason minus 110. All right. Going to hear thoughts on Vegas, Dave? I don't know. I don't know him. I don't know the man personally, so I really don't have any thoughts, good or bad. I just don't know the man. Thank you. Thank you, M. Thank you, EM, my man. Where else? I'm a noob. Is there anywhere I can go where you strategy right now so I can read and absorb it? I came in a little late and heard you talking about 0.25, 0.50, etc. Yeah, I put it out everywhere. It's pretty simple. Hold on. I'm strictly betting 1x to 5x based on the strength of the play. And I am increasing my bet size by 0.25% of bankroll. So I'm betting 0.25, 0.50, 0.75, 1%, and 1.25. On my weakest play, I'm betting 0.25% of bankroll. On my strongest play, I'm betting 1.25% of bankroll. So if I have a $10,000 bankroll, my biggest bet on a dog will be $125. That's 1.25. My biggest bet on a favorite will be to win $125. At that bet size, my risk of ruin is 20%. 8 out of 10 times, I will double my bank. 2 out of 10 times, I will lose my bank. That's the risk of ruin I'm comfortable with for my subscribers. I would like it to be a little lower, but I know how hard it is just to get them to 20% risk of ruin. So if they could do that, they'll be fine. If they could cut it to 10% risk of ruin, which means they double their bank every 9 out of 10 times and lose it only 1 out of 10 times, that's even better. But to do that, they need 500 units. So they'd need to have a $12,500 bankroll and be betting $25 a unit. $25 a unit, 25, 50, 75, 100, 125. That's how we break that down. All right. Anything else, boys and girls? Anything else? Did I forget anything? Did we forget anything? Let me check. Oh, let me check if anything new came in. Hold on. It's important. Wow, we're pushing over 90 minutes. Yeah, this went long enough. What am I doing? Let me see. All right. Oh, we saw conflicting action actually on Minnesota and Arizona. We got down on Arizona earlier, and one of the groups I work with just bet. Uh, I don't move for them, but I do some other shit with them. Um, so I see their bot, and yeah, they just bet the other side of that. They just took Minnesota, but again, I don't know why. They could be scalping it for all I know. I just don't like to see that when I'm on the other side. I like all of them. Okay. Rich, can you start with $1,000 bankroll and survive since plays cost 119 a week? No, of course not. No, you can't afford to pay $500 a month for information with $1,000 bankroll. No, no, Rich, no. Save your money. Don't buy my subscription, please. No, I don't want to see you lose money. You're underfunded. And it's just going to be you're rolling the dice and gambling. I don't want to see you do that. I don't want to see you gamble, man. If you're going to gamble, honestly, go play the lottery, play mega bucks, something that'll be life changing. Don't give it to your bookie, because paying $119 a week if you're weekly, and paying 250 every 2 weeks, like I said, $500 a month. We have to make 50% on your bankroll every month just to break even. Yeah, I can't do that. Am I psychic? If I could do that, bro, I wouldn't. What would I be betting for? I'd be done already. I'd be done 8 years ago after my first 3 years, 3 years of winning. I'd be done. What am I talking about? 13 years ago. So please, yeah, I love you, Rich. I love you, brother, and I want good for you. I want good. So I'd rather you do it that way. Take the free information, bet small, learn the process. Don't be very stubborn with your $1,000 bankroll. Make them claw and fight for any penny of it. Take your time with it. Start betting with $1,000 bankroll. Honestly, try what I'm telling you. Bet 250 a unit. That's the most you ever bet is $12.50. I'll make it even easier for you. Bet $10 on every bet. Don't even worry about best bets or regular bets. On when you're ready to make a bet, just flat bet $10. Do that for 3 months, bro. I'm not even telling you a whole year or 6 months. Just give yourself 3 months. You're going to do so many different things. Hopefully God blesses you and you live 100 years. So I'm asking you just for 3 months of your life to just say, you know what, I'm going to do it. Yeah, I'll for Ace, I'm going to do it for Ace. Whatever I bet's only going to be $10. I promise you, you'll see some life-changing feelings, bro. You're never going to sweat a game. You're never going to be out with your girl and look at the phone what the score is. You're never going to be with your family and sweating that what your game's on, or pissed off. You have your kid's birthday, but you're mad because you went 0-3 this morning, and that's so much money. It's going to be $30, and you got a dime. What are you going to give a shit for? That's nothing. That's an Uber ride. That's where I want you to be, bro, with this. That's how you make money betting sports. You don't make money by having $1,000 bankroll, paying a guy like me $120 for the week, and then betting $100 a play and hoping we make $500-600 off that 1,000, and are able to consistently do that, because nobody is. I can't do it. Nobody can do that for you. So I'd rather save you losing that 1,000 than talk you into, oh, buy this package of mine. Yeah, just bet this small, bro. We got this. No, we don't got this. There's a right way to do it, a wrong way to do it, and you know the right way to do it. So chill and do it. There's no rush, bro. There's no rush. These sports ain't going nowhere. The market's not going nowhere. They'll be here years from now. Maybe not at 2029, 2030 when the world gets a little crazy, but that's for another steam room. But that's just the truth, my boy. That's just the truth, my man. Yeah, yeah, yeah. I see the question, Vidano, Kvidano. I just not really want to touch on that right now. Forgive me. Forgive me. Oh, no, 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 no reason to say sorry. No, 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 nothing to apologize for, my man. I'm just, it's like we're in that good mood. It's just a sad, it's also, you know, we're living a rich life. You know what I'm getting at, man. It's just a tough thing to talk about. So I love you for bringing it up, and all of our prayers and thoughts are with Dave Koken at this moment, and family and stuff. God bless him, his people, and it's just something I don't really want to touch on. Yeah, just keep it there. Thank you for understanding. I appreciate that. All right. Nothing else coming in. Oh, let me just look. Oh, well, yeah, here you go. You guys ready? Again, I haven't vetted this. I have not vetted this. I am writing this down as it's coming in right now across this screen. They are betting 1951 Cubs minus 125 first 5. They're betting 1955 under 4 minus 110 Cincinnati, St. Louis, and they just bet 607 Seattle, Indiana, WNBA under 167.5, under 167.5. So let me repeat them really fast. As I look at that WNBA real quickly, there's something I do that takes me about 30 seconds. And it's my 30-second handicap that I call. Yeah, we're going to bet that one. Seattle, Indiana. I'll just give that to you guys now. You ready? Seattle, Indiana, 607, 608. We're going to go under 167.5. Bookmaker has 168. Superbook has 168. Circa has 168. But I will go under 167.5 for you guys, hoping you get an even better number than I do. All right, yeah, that went to subscribers. Let me just bet it now, and that should do it, boys and girls. I just got a barrage of like 9 questions. Guys, I just don't have time. I love you guys, but this last barrage, I just can't do it, asking for individual games and shit. I love you guys, but the 2 hours is a little longer than expected. So let's bet this WNBA under. I just got 168 too. I should have gave it a 168. We'll grade it 167.5. It's okay. 167.5. And let me see that Seattle one more time. Nah, I'm going to pass. It opened at 7.5. There were 8s out there. I'm not going to be the late guy to the party. I don't want to be the late guy to the party. So we're going to pass there. Thank you, Thomas. Thank you, sir, for joining. Thank you. But just do me one favor. Patience. That's it. Whether I come out on fire your first month or not, just please employ patience, and you will not be disappointed. You will not be disappointed, man. Just bet size correctly, and this will be a profitable venture for you. You'll make your money from to cover your expenses, your source of information, and profit. If you're properly funded and bet size correctly, bro, over 365 days, this will be worth your time, as it's shown. So I love you guys. Thank you all so much for your time. And we're going to do this again, of course, next week. And like always, whether you follow, fade, or ignore, I always hope you guys cash them, don't trash them. And God bless. God bless you and yours. Enjoy this weekend. And if you are in Las Vegas and going to be at the expo, make sure you swing by and say hello. God bless.